Good day everybody, my name is RagingRaptor and I'm welcome to a new grind experience video. Today we are finally finished with the whole grind. We had a look at the cheese ore, we had a look at the LHMTV, we had a look at the setter. And today I would like to have a look finally at the Manticore. I think so far I am one of the only persons of which content creators which finished the grind so quickly. And this is also due to the fact because I'm a little bit on a time crunch. But also I usually tend to grind very quickly such things with boosters and so on and so forth. But now, yes, guys, the Manticore. Was it worth it? Short answer, hell no. Like, wow. I knew this tank was underwhelming. I played it on a test server before they buffed it, and I didn't touch it afterwards. And it's still incredible underwhelming how meh this tank actually is. Like, wow. In today's video, I would just like to go over the tanks and compare it to all the other light tanks, because with the Manticore grind finished, I once again have all tier 10 tanks in the game except for one, and this is the T22 medium. And I would like to just give you my 2 cents about it and maybe even propose some changes on how to make this tank more appealing, more unique, and more special. Yes, so first things first, how many games did I play in a Manticore? That's probably one of the more important things or more interesting things for you guys at the beginning. So far I played 17 games in it and have a 76% win rate, but no ace tank yet. And now I already hear you saying, but Raging, 76% win rate, wow, you are so good at this game. No, I'm not. It's called 3-man platoon with 2 people from Oda Mortis or 2 people from Fame. That's it. That's genuinely it. That's how you rig, in quotation marks, your win rate. Nevertheless, I actually have a decent damage per game, DPG, so far. It's actually higher than what I have in EBR 105. But the damage cost is much worse than what I have in EBR 105, and this is just due to the fact that the EBR 105 is much more potent as a scout than the Manticore is. You can see I'm not playing with binos, and I'm not playing with Camouflage net, and I am not playing with vertical stabilizer. However, I might be thinking of actually taking coded optics out and playing with stabilizer to make this tank more appealing, because then we have 460 meters of view range. It's still good, but it's definitely not good when it comes to camo breaking people on the open field. Like 504 is good, but yeah. So let's start with the main feature of this tank, the battleship-like gun, the 105mm QF gun. And if I have to say one word about this gun, it's disappointment. It's disappointing at best, and it's trash, normal, and it's absolute garbage at its worst. Yes, it's the only, like literally the only redeeming feature it has is its good standard penetration of 248. The only redeeming feature of this gun. That's it. The accuracy is worse than what we have on other tanks. However, I have to point out that my EBR has better vents, and they can make a difference when it comes to accuracy. Like, I put those tanks into comparison, and I think it would be just fair. I didn't do it in German video because I simply didn't want to, but I still want to put it back in. I just want to have a look at how the accuracy is when we are using normal equipment or normal vents, because they make a difference. And the accuracy is still better. Like, why? Why is this happening? Why is this a thing? Like, it doesn't make sense, to be honest. The accuracy is better by 0.33, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because base, both guns have the same accuracy. This is weird. This is actually something I can't explain. I genuinely can't explain why the EBR is more accurate even without the better vents. Like, It has the same base accuracy. It's so weird. Like, it's genuinely weird, and I don't know why this is a thing. Am I wrong? Did I miss something? Because it feels like I'm missing something. I can't explain this. I might be just super stupid. It's where is it? 0.38 base. Okay, it's worse. Okay, that's the mistake there. Yeah, like this is already the first thing which I want to point out. It's just, it's not good. Like 0.38 is bad compared to the EBR 105, which is like, herder, look at me. I'm much more accurate and I have HE, which is actually potent. Like, this is the frustrating thing about this vehicle. Like, we all know that EBRs are strong in good hands, and they're even strong in poorly played hands, but they're not as effective as the one when they are a good player behind them, behind the wheels, quite literally. And this gun needs so much work. Like, the DPM, I can work with the DPM. Like, let's say it like this, I can work with this incredible long reload time. 11.08 seconds is ridiculous if you think about it. Like the Sheridan has 7.28. This is 3 seconds faster. The Cheezer is 3.23 seconds faster. However, the Cheezer doesn't have 390 alpha. I still put it there because I genuinely think with some buffs, the Cheezer would be a better tier 10 tank than the Manticore is. Because it's much more convenient to play than the Manticore. But that's just my personal opinion on this matter. Anyway, the penetration rate, one thing I also want to say about this, it looks good on paper. Like, it looks good when you look at it like this, but it's absolute trash. You lose 40 millimeters of penetration on 500 meters. That's a lot, but it's not like the others don't lose that much as well. They lose less. At least the EBR loses less. The Sheridan loses 774. He loses more. Like, in general, they lose a little bit more than the Manticore, but it's only a tiny touch more. It's around the same. Even though the Manticore's AP and AP is known to lose less penetration. The other thing which is incredibly frustrating is that this tank has premium APCR. It's good for sniping. Yes, it's fast. Like the standard round isn't. The standard round is trash. It's super slow, it feels like at least. But look at that. We lose 42 millimeters of penetration on 500 meters. Luckily, the WZ doesn't lose anything because it has heat. The EBR loses nothing because it has its heat. The Sheridan loses nothing because he has heat. 3105, heat. Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, heat. T100LT, well, he has AP, but he doesn't count. He is Russian. And even he loses less penetration on range. This is like so frustrating when you want to play the Manticore, because you know the only redeeming feature is the good standard penetration, and it's even not that good, because anybody can press the double 2 key, ping ping, and they have better penetration than you on every single range. Accuracy. Already pointed out, it's bad. Aim time. It looks good on paper, but still atrocious when you have a tank which has a bloom like the freaking moon. Like, the bloom is ridiculously big. And this makes this tank really frustrating to play. Comparing it to something like the ELC AMX BIS, which also has a huge gun and a huge bloom on the move, I have to say, at least this tank is rewarding when you hit. Because for a tier 8 scout, you have 240 alpha. Tier 5, excuse me. This is absolutely ridiculous if you think about it. On tier 5, you usually have autocannons or guns with 70 alpha or maybe max of 100. Like, the MT25 even has 115 alpha and is a tier 6 scout. And you're here like big boss with 240 alpha. You are smashing every single tier 5 scout when it comes to alpha damage. Most tier 5 heavy tanks you're smashing by alpha. Most tier 5 light TDs you're smashing with alpha. It's ridiculous. And this is why I love the ELC AMX BIS, and this is why I don't mind the ridiculous long aim time, the ridiculous bad what's it called? Bloom, the narrow gun traverse angles, and the very long aim time, because it has the punch. It punches people in their face. Like, boom, bitch. Excuse me for the language, but man, does it make fun. And I was hoping that the Manticore could be something like this for tier 10, but it's absolutely not. Like, no. Even though the gun stats are similar to the ELC AMX, the gun doesn't feel like it has this battleship-like style. It doesn't have this. And this is just frustrating. Another thing which is frustrating is it's -8 and +8 degrees of gun depression. And this is also why I think the G-Zor is a better tier 10 scout than the Manticore is. This tank has all around 10 degrees of gun depression. And he has 35 degrees of gun elevation. This is absolutely insane, and it feels so awesome when you play the tier 8 tank. Like, wow. Like, I'm not even joking here. I'm not taking a piss right now. This feels amazing. The gun elevation is absolutely fun to play. Like, it's really great, and it makes this tank stand out. Like, it is one of those redeeming features you're like, I didn't know I actually love gun elevation. And suddenly, you get the Manticore, and you're stuck with 8 degrees of gun depression, which is a 2 degrees downgrade, and 8 degrees of gun elevation. Over the front. Over the back, it's 4 to 5. Don't trust me? It is that trash. It actually is that trash. This is how it looks when you are aiming frontally. Combined excuse me, with your shit turning accuracy or accuracy on the move, accuracy during turret traverse, and you have to, like, you have 4.7 degrees of gun elevation when you're standing like this. On the rear, when you get lucky, you have 4.5 to 5. You are standing a tiny touch on the slope with your butt to the enemy. You can't shoot them. And this is also why I'm not playing this tank with binos, because I always want to be able to shoot the enemy if I have to. Like, I know, oh frick, I got spotted, I'm just squeezing one more shot out and take my legs into my arms and just go for it, run for it. But I always want to try to get one more shot out. This gun elevation, I said it countless times during the stream, is frustrating. It's infuriating. Genuinely infuriating. It's annoying and it's stupid. It's just stupid. And it just feels like a super great downgrade from the G-Zor. Again, give this G-Zor more, like, generally give it more view range, more camouflage, more DPM, maybe even more alpha, and you have you have a better tier 10 light tank than a Manticore, period. Because you have 10 degrees of gun depression, you have a more or less accurate gun, you have a more consistent gun, and you have 35 degrees of gun elevation. Plus, it is a little bit smaller, it feels like. Like, this one is like, it's like your mama sat on this tank. It's like, it really looks like a 50B, which your mama sat on, and the turret was compressed by a hydraulic press. While the G-Zor, it's just a little bit top heavy and topples over a lot. But it looks good, it looks good. Hit points are okay. Armor, this is not correct. The armor of the Manticore looks like this. And it's nothing. The EBR 105 is going to, the EBR 105 is making you your little bitch. Period. The EBR 105 is just going to smack your face with HE, needing 3 shots at max and finishing you off. Another thing you might also don't know is that this tank has a very, very bad engine. It's not bad when it comes to power to weight ratio, but it has a 20% burn chance. The highest of the tier 10 light tanks was 12. Now you have 20. Ouch. Like, you burn a lot in this tank and it's frustrating. Mobility wise, 68 kilometers per hour top speed is not bad, but then again, other tier 10 scouts have 70 and you're like, yeah, come on, I have to get into good positions to actually passive scout, you know? And lastly, the camouflage. Let's be fair and put in the natural cover directive, bumping it up to almost 45%, which is good, but then again, it's actually not. Like, it's really, yeah. Like the EPR again, we have the better vents in it. No, actually now we don't have the better vents in it, I think. Yes, we don't have the better vents in it. And you can see with not the better vents, the EPR still has better camouflage rating. It's almost by 2%. The T100 LT has at the moment not the same, not the best. Wait a second, I have to do it like this, I think. It is slightly worse apparently. It's slightly worse, it's 1% worse because now we are using the camouflage directive. But I'm not sure if it properly scales because usually the camouflage directive gives an additional bonus when you have a full camouflage crew. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Because as far as I know, if I'm oh, that was the wrong one. If I'm removing the camouflage directive of both vehicles, the Manticore is more stealthy than the, the T100 LT should be more stealthy than the Manticore. Or not, excuse me. Okay, I made a mistake there. I made a small mistake there. But again, just 1% worse camouflage than a T100 LT, which has 90mm of upper front plate armor, 180mm of turret armor, 1500 hit points, and a DPM which is, where is it? 2800, 738 more than the Manticore. Sorry, but why? The only redeeming feature you could say is its fuel range, but then again, those 24 meters are not going to make a big difference. Like the Manticore definitely needs 410 to 420 meters of base fuel range. It makes no sense that when we look at other British tier 10 tanks, that for example the Centurion Action X has 410 meters base fuel range. This one has 410. And this tank 410, 400. Like, come on. Most of the freaking tier 10 heavy and medium tanks of the British tech line have 410 meters of base fuel range. It's just frustrating. Genuinely frustrating. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Like, if I would need to rebalance the Manticore, I personally would give it a 420 alpha gun, like the Leopard 1 has. Give it 520 HE damage. This is like what I personally would do. So basically, or 510. Basically copy those 4 stats when it comes to damage. This is what I would do. Then I would give it 0.35 base accuracy and 0.7 base aiming time to cope with the horrendously bad accuracy on the move. Now you have a tank which is a little bit more punchy, and it has 2200 DPM with 420 alpha. It's something which I did calculations on last video. It's still class worst, but it actually you have those boom and zoom, you have those trading shots possible. Next, I would give this tank 410 minimum base fuel range, maybe even 420. And lastly, I would completely, no, excuse me, I wouldn't, I would like to exchange it with the G-Zor because of the horrible gun elevation depression wrangles. No, like this could already make this tank a lot more fun and unique to play. Another unique approach would be to give this tank a 2-shot autoloader. Why do I think, like, it's a total difference, it's a total change of what you would usually see from a tank which doesn't have autoloaders at all. But I think it would help this tank a lot. Not only does the not only do you have, oops, this is not what I want to do. Not only do you have 2 crew members, it is ridiculous. Like your commander over here, RNGesus, #1, has 3 different skill trees he can go for. And you can see, I need, to be honest, I actually need 6 crew skills to be on par with most other tier 10 lights. This is absolutely ridiculous. And you can see I don't even have fully fuel range. I still need snapshot to be on par. And then I don't have repairs. I don't have firefighter. Yes. And your driver is also your loader. So what the hell? Like, this is why I think this could be cool if a 2-shot autoloader. Because an autoloading system, well, they don't really need an input by somebody. But just think about it. If this is a normal normal tank, the driver, oh yes, I'm driving. I just did it! You can shoot again! That's probably why it has so long reload time. But again, the driver is also not finished at all. He still would need firefight, it still would need preventive maintenance and even clutch braking. Or how about safe storage? That would be great, right? Or adrenaline rush, that would also be working. Honestly, this tank would also really benefit if it had just had some base skills. Like genuinely some base skills. If you think about it, I have 2 million experience on this crew almost. That's huge. That's a lot. When is my EBR? I think my EBR has more, like, yeah, my EBR has a ton more because you can see it's the 6 skills almost finished and I have like 6 million XP. And I play a lot of EBR in frontline. Yeah, I like generally don't touch this thing. Don't touch this thing with a 2-mile long stick. It's frustration. Like, it's not aggravating. It's not a super shitty trash idiot tank. It has its moments, and it feels great when you have a great game in it. But you are frustrated by how much potential is thrown away by wargaming. And I understand that they didn't want to make another fiasco like they did with the EBR 105. But my god, guys, please. This tank, the whole line is trash. And if I have to rank the whole line, I have to say the Setter is the best tank. And I already saw how Quickie Baby is frustrated by it. The Setter is the best tank of the line. Then the Gzor, then the LH-MTV, and then the Manticore. Even the LH-MTV is before the Manticore, because it's somewhat unique. The Manticore is just frustration. Please don't grind it. Don't waste free experience. I did it because it was the last tank I could grind. Thank you so much for your attention. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed my rant. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Feel free to join the community of mine by subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to keep up to date with my videos, because I'm going to give you some more analysis of different gameplays I have for you. One even with the Manticore, another with the LH-MTV, and some with the Gzor and other tanks, where I just show you what those tanks can do and how to play with trash tanks. I'm used to it. I free-marked the Mauerbrecher, hooray! Thank you so much for your attention. I'll talk to you all in a different video. Cheers.